Laughing Vikings Live. High vibe chats with actors, comedians, and creators, plus stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and most importantly, you. That's right, join us every Monday for new episodes, and you can be a part of the show on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Ask questions and interact in the comments, and make sure to share this with your actor, comedian, and creator friends so they can be a part of the show too. Can't make a live show? No problem. You can catch up on your favorite podcast platform and visit laughingvikings.com to find out how you can join the cast and crew. All right, it's time for today's show. Buckle up and make sure you stick around to the end because we have a special surprise for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laughing Vikings Live. Happy Monday Fun Day. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday, July 16th, Comedy Alley at Laughing Vikings. We're here in person and we're streaming live. Hello, Internet. How are you? How are you? We're doing it, folks. Yes. We do this every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sometimes other days too. And sometimes we stream it. Actually, tonight, if you're watching this online, this is the first time you could watch the show without being here. So you can just sit on your lazy butt wherever you are, not come out and see people. Maybe you're just used to it. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, right now that are like, fuck it, I don't want to go to things. I got real used to not doing anything with real people for a year and a half. I'm just going to continue to stay at home on my couch. So kudos to you. You guys, I'm pointing at you on the internet. And if you are at home right now, at least do us a favor and share this out. Share it out. You've got some fantastic comedians tonight we have on the show. Make some noise for them. And if you're at home, make some noise just in your own living room to yourself awkwardly. We have Jen Staccato, Sammy Fareed, Keisha Brownie, and Arthur Simeon. And I will be hosting Lars, the host with the most. Please call me Captain Lars. I'm fresh off my stint captaining that barge in the Suez. I was the guy who got it stuck. Sorry, guys. I was the captain / DJ. I was DJing a party on that cargo ship. Lost track of things. Next thing you know, we're jammed in the Suez. But here we are. If you're wondering, too, how long has Comedy Alley been in existence? Well, let me tell you. This Comedy Alley is formerly known as Alley. Yeah, this was just a regular alley that we're all sitting in. This was nothing. And then it's amazing what you can do. I'm going to let you guys in on a tip. This is a tip for all the comedians, tip for our audience members, tip for people watching at home is, I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can make a sign. They don't check any ID. There was no application process. You could just think of words, go onto Canva, type them up, call Mr. Signs, the sign guy. Nice plug. He's not actually a sponsor, but think about it, Mr. Sign. Not sure if that's his real last name or not. Imagine that if it was. But thank you, Mr. Sign. Guys, anyone can make a sign. So if you are right now, if you're at home and you're like, wait a second, I have a plain old alley where nobody's doing anything with it, you can take the lemons that life has given you in your dirty, shitty alley, and you can turn that alley into lemon meringue alley pie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who is that? Who's that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Welcome. Come on in. Good to see you. You're missing out. If you are watching this at home right now and you're not here, you're missing out. You could be right here. So we got a hot show. I'll be hosting. I'm going to be introducing some of Canada's best, not even Canada, some of the world's best comedians are here. Someone asked me last week, they're like, how do you continue to have wave after wave after wave of pro comedians here? And I'm like, Toronto is fucking stacked with comedians. How many comedians do you think there are in Toronto? Like working pros? 100? 1,000? Probably 1,000, 5,000. I don't know. The bottom line is you can come here every single night and you will see 4 different comedians. We have booked comedians, and then we have something that we call in the business drop-bys. You never know who's going to wander by. They just pop in the neighborhood. We're in the shadows of the Broadview Hotel. People are filming fancy movies in town. Maybe Jeremy Renner is going to pop in. Hey, Jeremy Renner, if you've never done stand-up, you can come to Comedy Alley. He's in town. He was here the other night. He was filming his TV show in another alley right down there the other day. And maybe we can get him into Comedy Alley. Shout it out. Does anyone know Jeremy Renner? I don't know why Hawkeye needs to come do stand-up, but I think he should. We got to do some shout-outs here. We have sponsors for the show. We got to keep these lights on. Yeah, woo, woo. We got our sponsors in the back here. One of our sponsors is the lovely gentleman Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord. So we got to shout him out. And he's actually hired me to do the live commercial. So even if you're at home right now, you can't skip these commercials. As part of the show, I'll be playing the part of Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord. Pay the bills. Hi, I'm Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord. That's right, Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord. The Mortgages and Smorgasbord guy. You heard me, the Mortgages and Smorgasbord guy. One more time, the Mortgages and Smorgasbord guy. Why waste time going to 3 stores for all your Mortgages and Smorgasbord needs when you come on down to Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord and take care of all your Mortgages and Smorgasbord business in one spot. So the next time you need to renew your mortgage, store a loved one, or eat a hearty meal, come down to Morgan's, come down to Morgan's when you need a mortgage or a smorgasbord. Boop. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you. Always add the boop. The key to a good jingle at the end is boop, boop. Also, we should give it up to Bob or Robert from Bob's Bidets. Please give it up for Bob's Bidets. He has provided a lovely bidet here at Laughing Vikings. We spare no expense here. We treat our talent really well. Talent, if you want to go into the bathroom, mind the bidet in there. It's quite an experience. But Bob from Bob's Bidets has asked me to do the commercial here to help them move a few more bidets. So we're going to do that. I'm just going to hit you with the jingle. Come on down to Bob's Bidets, because with the bidet, you're always rim job ready. Bob's Bidets. But the commercial continues. Hi, I'm Bob, 4th generation owner of Bob's Bidets. That's right, folks. People have been trusting us to keep their buttholes clean for over 100 years. And you know why? Why? I said, you know why? These are very interactive commercials. You know why? Why? That's because down here at Bob's, you just aren't any shitty arse. You're our shitty arse. And we guarantee goddamn to you that butthole will be fit to eat off. That's right, folks. With the Bob's Bidets Clean Bum Guarantee, if poop or paper's ever sticking, come on down and we'll do some licking. Bob's Bidets. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Bob. Moving some bidets. We're moving some smorgasbords as well. I got to tell you, actually, one time I had to do that live commercial at a show in Gravenhurst, and there was a father and a daughter in the crowd, and the father was like, he didn't seem to understand what a bidet was, and the daughter was like, no, you know what a bidet is. We've had one before. And there was a little bit of argument whether or not they had one. So they got into a little bit of a bidet debate. So there I am in the middle of my show, trying to do a show, and I'm talking about bidets, and these people are having a bidet debate right there. I'm trying to do the show, and they're like debating bidets, having a big debate. So all of a sudden, it was like out of the blue, it was like bidet debate, bidet debate, bidet debate. If you know what's happening right now, kudos to you. There's people who are watching this and sort of feeling that, and they're like, oh, I see what's happening. And there are other people right now that are like, I have no idea what the fuck this Lars is doing. I don't know what he's talking about. Why is he singing this song? Why is he talking about bidets? I don't know either. But the real reason is because we're here at Comedy Alley at Laughing Vikings, and we got one hell of a show. Because how do you turn an alley into a comedy alley? I'll tell you one thing you do is you buy a kazoo. Yes, and another thing you can do is buy a second kazoo. That's right. If you're looking at me right now trying to size me up, you're like, what kind of dude is Lars? What is he like? I want to get his vibe. I'm telling you, I'm a 2 kazoo guy. I don't own 1 kazoo. I own 2 kazoos. Does anyone here own a kazoo, period? No, there's not a single kazoo owner, yet here I am holding 2 kazoos. That's right. I have my acoustic right here, and I also have, I didn't even know this was a thing, I have an electric kazoo. Boom. Did I just blow your mind? Did I just completely blow your mind? I have an electric kazoo. Ready?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play our national anthem to kick this off. So for those who are able, please rise for the singing of our national anthem. Appropriate reaction. Viewers at home, I'm sure you didn't get off the couch. Nobody here got up either. Don't worry, I'm not going to play our old, shitty, boring national anthem that's mostly about wars. And how about every country upgrade your song? How about you make your national anthem a fun, inspiring song, not something about war and fighting and killing people. It's certainly not a 100-year-old song. Who listens to 100-year-old songs? Time for an upgrade. So I have collaborated with famous Canadian Ozzy Osbourne. We've revamped our Canadian national anthem to reflect 2 values that Canadians love and believe in: the true north, strong and free. And that's drinking beer, getting drunk, and smoking a little weed. Am I right? Who's a little drunk, a little high right now? Maybe a little bit. Woo, woo, woo. A couple people at home. Couple people at home just drooling and puking on their keyboards. But here we go. So this is the new revamped Lars Classington / Ozzy Osbourne national anthem. Canadians gathered at their cottages, drinking beers in their garages. You guys can join in with the, I don't know, you don't play the electric guitar, or the electric kazoo. Getting fucked up with guys named Gary. And if we get drunk, who cares? We got free health care. Oh, Canada. Get the horns up. Oh, Canada. Those are moose horns. Second verse. Canadians gathered at their cottages. It's a lot like the first verse. Smoking weed in their garages. Getting so high that it's a bit scary. Come to think of it, has anybody seen Gary? Seriously, guys, where's Gary? Make some noise if you've been to a party in Canada. A guy named Gary went missing for a little bit. For sure. If you're not clapping right now or making noise, you are Gary. Hey, Gary, get your shit together. You're going a little too hard. You're in your 40s. Chill out for a little bit. Thank you. All in favor of ratifying that as our new national anthem, say A. Hey! All in favor of getting the show underway, say A. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we always have a stacked show, professional headliners coming to do feature sets here in Comedy Alley. You're watching at home, you're missing it. You could have been here right in person, 3 feet away from them. But we do what we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, your first guest, she's been featured at the San Diego Comedy Fest and JFO 42. Please make some Comedy Alley noise for Jen Sacato.
Tall. Guys, get up for Lars, everybody. Lars Classington. Right here at the Comedy Alley. What a beautiful space. Look at this. I love Red Brick Toronto. Look at this. This is nice. This is a quality mason job. I don't know. Is that what they do? Anyway, Toronto is still lagging behind the rest of the world in opening up and getting our lives back together, goddammit. So the city of Toronto has started this program called Cafe TO, right? Where they support businesses, struggling restaurants who would otherwise have gone under, by blocking off an entire lane of traffic on Toronto's busiest goddamn streets: Bloor Street, College, Queen, Dundas, which it's not going to be called Dundas for much longer, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. So they block off an entire lane, and these restaurants can set up shop, their tables, and I don't know about you, but there's nothing more romantic than eating my goddamn fettuccine Alfredo next to some diesel exhaust and some safety pylons. You know what I mean? Yeah, open up already. Just a quick pulse of the room here. Who here is vaccinated? At least one dose? Yeah. So pretty much everybody. Let's just go inside already. You know what I mean? Like I'm sick of being treated like an animal eating outside. You know what I mean? You're gonna set up a trough for us. Just throw some slop out there for us. Anyway, enough already. So what can I say? I'm not normally the same. I have the softest skin. Yeah. You can't touch me. You can't verify. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. But it's pretty good. You know, the skin's your largest organ, right? Got to take care of that shit. And it's on the outside. Got to take care of that shit. Imagine if your heart was on the outside, right? Wouldn't you want to like water it or something from time to time, right? Take care of your goddamn skin. I know some people here are like, I lotion my skin, right? Entice me. If your lotion ever goes on sale, your lotion is trash, okay? If you can collect points for your lotion is trash, okay? I'm using shit like organic fucking essential oils imported from goddamn Panama. You understand? Some good quality shit. What happened was I got a gift card to a skincare store. So I'm talking shit. And once that bottle runs out, it's back to the video with me. So back with you, please. Anyway, I'm just talking shit. Isolation has made me very arrogant. Okay, what else? I have a fat husband. Yeah. Oh, my fat husband. Already I feel like a couple people are like, oh, you should be using that word. But Relax does self-identify as a fat. So it's cool. You can say that. Plus he's here, and no, he's not. He's eating at home. I wish that was a joke. So, first of all, if you never shacked up with a fatso in your life, I highly recommend it. It's great. Yeah, cuts down on your heating bill. Yeah, I haven't used the duvet in 3 winters. You understand? It's nice. Of course, he won't let me touch him between May and October, so it's been kind of lonely this summer. I can't touch him. So. Yeah. He eats too much. That's the type of fat he is, so don't feel too bad. It's not a thyroid thing. Most of this is his choice, right? He likes to reward himself. Well, today I cleaned the washroom. Oh yeah? Your shit stains out of the toilet. That's good. You're going to reward yourself with a pizza? Okay, that's nice. Why don't you try something new? Like the KFC or something. This is the type of fat he is. He'll order an extra large pizza, okay, and I don't eat dairy, so I'm not hitting any of that. And he'll eat 11 of the 12 slices. That's too much. And what do you do with the last slice of pizza, right? If you're a normal person, you put it in a container, put it in the fridge, take it to work the next day. Pizza party at work, right? Woo! Next day out. He will take that 12 slice, put it in a container, and then just eat it later that night over the sink. Like he had a plate for the first 11 slices. I don't know what happened to the plate. That's the type of fat piece of shit he is. Okay, the other day he told me he's like, babe, I gotta take control of my overeating. It's a problem. I'm like, whatever. I married him fat, so I knew what I was getting myself into. I was like, it's okay, whatever you want to do, I support you. So now he'll order still an extra large pizza. He doesn't, and he'll eat 11 of the 12 slices. Again, too many slices. So now what he does with that last slice, okay, he doesn't trust himself. So he just throws it in the garbage. Okay? Now say what you will about food waste. This is how he's controlling his overeating. Okay, so I support him. But this is the type of fat piece of shit. Right? He will wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, go into the garbage, and eat the garbage like a squirrel. Like I'm not gonna fucking know, all right? But he always comes back to those greasy lips. You know what I mean? That's how I know. He doesn't even dab it. So what I've done to counteract this disgusting behavior, I mean, he's eating garbage. I will set my alarm for 12 o'clock in the morning, go into the garbage with the Mr. Clean. All right, he wakes up with a stomachache, that's on him. I'm poisoning my husband. Sure. Slowly, painfully. But it's for his health. You understand? I'm helping him. He is a boxer briefs guy. This is important. I'm telling you for a reason. And the other day he comes out wearing his boxers. I'm like, boxers? You're not boxers guy. What is this? These are boxer briefs that get stretched out. You understand? Just flapping around in my apartment. It's great. Now, Miss, you are with a man?
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot how to speak, how to pose questions during isolation. You are with a man. You are in a relationship with a man.
Yeah.
I say this, because I saw you with a man earlier, and I put two and two together. Can you believe it? Yeah. Now, you don't have to, I'm looking at the man now, so you don't have to, him or other men that you've been with, not that you've been with a lot of men, I don't know your life. Or maybe you are a slut, and you're proud of it. Okay, let's just get to the questions here. All men, I think, have many pairs of underwears that can no longer legally be called underwears. There's more wool than fabric. It's disgusting. Throw that shit out. Hanes, you can buy a 6-pack at Winners for like $6.99, right? Treat yourselves, all right? My husband wears these holy underwears, okay? And what I like to do is I like to just, while he's passed out in a food coma. He doesn't wear clothes, obviously, in my house. It's just underwears. I like to just go up there and just rip them apart. Like Hulk Hogan. It's nice. I just want to share that with you. What I want to say? I'm a caregiver to my father. I know, where are my wings? Yeah, they're in the mail with my halo. Now, a lot of caregiving for a male, an older male, involves holding their kid. I'm going to be honest with you. I help my dad pee. I know, I'm a fucking angel. And it's cool. It's cool. Don't feel sad. Like, don't get uncomfortable. We're all going to have our dribble years. You know what I mean? It's just a part of life. And he also has a touch of the dementia, right? Don't feel bad. It's okay. Now, when people have dementia, you're not supposed to oppose or, contradict what they say. You're supposed to just meet them where they are. Whatever they're talking about, that's their reality in that moment. So the other day, I'm holding my dad's dick, right, helping him pee, and he pulls out this gem. He's like, well, all my life, people have made a really big deal out of blowjobs. So I'm like, okay, just meet them where they are. It's their reality. So I'm like, yeah, I guess it's a big deal for a lot of people. And he's just nonchalant. I never really saw what the big deal is. Now, I don't know what was more disturbing in that moment, me talking about pom-poms with my dad while holding his dick, or the fact that Daddy's never had any good head. You know what I mean? Like, what have you been doing, Dad? I guess the question is, what have you been doing, Mom? There's still time. There's still time. If you guys are thinking about my dad and my mom giving each other oral sex, that's on you. That's your problem. Because clearly it'd only be one way. It doesn't have the mobility anymore. Wow. Okay. My isolation has been, dealing with my husband and my parents. So it's kind of weird. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I came here to talk about. Really, is just leave you with that mental image. That one of these days, you may be holding your dad's dick. And, you may whip out a gem like that. Maybe your own dick that someone's holding for you. So what I want you to do is remember this moment. And 20, 30, 40 years from now, when you're old and senile, just freak out your child. Freak out your child. That's probably what she deserves. Okay, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much. There's a kazoo here. If it weren't for COVID, I'd be blowing into it, That's good. Okay, thank you. Guys, give it up for Lars, everybody.
Jen Siccato, everyone. Jen Siccato and her dad's dick. Mostly give it up for her dad's dick. He's doing his best with his dick. For a second there, as Jen was talking about her fat, overeating husband, I was like, wait, am I married to Jen Siccato? I don't think I'm married to Jen Siccato. That story about your leftovers, literally last night, quick story, I had a fantastic dinner. You were there. And I was full, and there was a giant piece of garlic bread bruschetta that we couldn't finish. We put it in a box. Literally, before we pulled out of the parking lot, I had opened the box and scarfed that down like a big fatso. So me and your husband, pretty sure I know who he is. Fat boys. We're fat boys. We're going to do it. This next comedian, though, I don't think he's fat. Is he fat? If he is fat, he's very skinny fat. But I love this guy. So let me tell you about him. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of doing 20 episodes on a sketch comedy show called Almost Genius. And your next comedian, he's what they call comedians. Literally everyone loves this guy. I don't think I've ever met someone who didn't love this guy. So if you're here or watching online, and by the end of this, you don't love this guy, I have huge beef for you, and I question your mental situation. Please give it up for everyone's favorite, the lovely Sammy Fareed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. You need your phone. Did you drop the kazoo too? Oh no.
I dropped several kazoos.
Man, I hate it when I get an intro so good I know I can't live up to it already. I'm going to be referring to my phone because I haven't had time to think for the last little while. Anyone discover anything interesting or exciting about themselves during the lockdown? No, I realized that I think I like Q-tips more than I'm supposed to. You know? Like, have you ever been, like, Q-tipping and you're just staring at yourself in the mirror, Q-tipping for, like, 15, 20 minutes, and then you're like, how haven't I come yet? You know what I mean? It feels good. Like, you know how I know it feels good? If I'm doing it and my wife walks in, I go, hey, knock first, you know? Like, I was in here, you know, I could have been doing anything. And please leave me alone. I'm not done. Just it feels good, man. You ever notice people who tell you not to put Q-tips in your ears, always have really dirty ears? Like, I think you should. Like, why did they make them that shape? Anyways. I remember sitting at home and going, man, like, I actually miss people. You know, like, I genuinely miss people. And then you start going out and you're like, oh shit, like not these people. I thought there was gonna be other people when you came out. It's been a rough time, man. We've learned a lot of shit. I actually like there's some stuff I enjoy. Maybe enjoyed is too strong of a word, but I like blaming my haircuts on barbers being closed, right? I was like, oh man, closed or whatever. Now I'm just like, I don't know. I'm still cutting it myself. What do you want? It's as good as it gets. Thank you, Lars. Appreciate the support from the man wearing a captain's hat with shoulder-length hair, golden locks. It's been good. Like I like driving around a lot more during pandemic when there was no one on the road. I hate like if you drive in the city and you don't have road rage, there's something wrong with you. Like you're missing a portion, like they've done a lobotomy on you or something. It's just every interaction on the road is a miserable interaction. It just sucks. I hate when a pedestrian's about to cross and you want to let them cross. I hate that. There's no good way to do it because you either go like go ahead, right, and then they're like, fuck you, man, I'll go whenever I want, right, or you're like, please, go ahead. And then it just looks like a royal wave, like, please, after you, sir. And they're like, okay. And then sometimes you wave them across, and then they cross on, like, a diagonal, just like the longest route they can take to get. Like, have you ever seen a fucking Etch-a-Sketch, man? Just over, up. Rage. The rage. Man, Jen's set really hit me in the heart, man. That sucks. That's a lot of stuff we all struggle with, right? I mean, why did they have 12 slices of pizza if you're not going to eat all of them, right? If it was 11 they wanted you to eat, they'd give you 11. Obviously. What am I talking about here? Does anyone know? Good. Everyone's like really eager to get back to normal. I don't think we can just get back to normal. I really don't. Because, look, some of you start screaming too soon. You know what I mean? Like right at the beginning of the whole thing, they're like, hey, there's a virus, immediate fucking terror and screaming. Some of you never stop screaming, also not good. And some of you never screamed at all. That's the most terrifying group for sure. Yeah, terrifying human being. Like we can't just go back to normal. You know, it was like weird, you know, like 3 days into the whole thing, everyone had an OnlyFans account all of a sudden. Just everyone, like, you didn't even lose your job. They're like, yeah, I'm just setting it up. Like, it's weird. I'm not angry. I just think it's weird that for $8.99 a month, I could see everyone's butthole. I went in trying to get another job at a car dealership as a salesman. And I went in there, and the interview went well, and the guy's like, okay, so listen, man, I'm looking for a hustler. I need someone who's going to push these cars. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. And he's like, what's your social media like? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, what are you on TikTok? You got a good following on Instagram? And I'm like, buddy, if I had an Instagram following, I'd start an OnlyFans. I don't need to sell fucking master trees. World's going to shit, Lars. You shouldn't have hyped me up this much. Like, these are my notes. You know what I mean? Like, I wrote them earlier, so I think this is legit. I'm just accessing my brain. It was weird to see people, like, really angry about the lockdown, too. Like, we all didn't like it. No one liked it. But people are like, the government's trying to crush us, man. You're like, you just got to sit at home and order food. And it comes right to your house. Like, that's all you got to do. You can get weed. The government will send you weed to your house. If you don't have money, they'll send you money that you can exchange for some weed. Like, what the fuck else do you want? We had everything. People are like, no, man, the government. You think Kim Jong-un is sending his people, like, mushrooms in the mail? No. Yeah, be good. Like, okay, you know, like, at some point, even if you think there's, like, a conspiracy, right? Like, all the world's governments somehow got together and we're like, yeah, hey, man, I tell you what, the one thing we can agree on is that our citizens are shit and we deserve to punish them, right? Like, if somehow that's your thought and you're out at, like, an anti-mask rally or whatever, and then you look around at the crowd, at some point you have to go, I can't possibly agree with these people. These people can't be right. Whatever it is, these people can't be correct in this situation. This is going well, I think. Woo! I had a weird situation happen. I barely order food. Like, I barely do. I like to cook. Yeah. I got somebody else's Uber Eats order, right? So they had this delicious fried chicken sandwich and fries and coleslaw, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be a piece of shit, right? I'm sure I can get it back, but there wasn't like a name or anything on there, so I'm like, okay, well, my house is 188, maybe it's 881, right? Like, maybe it's, so I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to go over there and just drop it off, right? So I walk over, you know, get it there, and then I'm like, hey, I could just leave it here, but then, you know, what if it's not actually their sandwich, right? So I should knock, right? But if I knock and then, like, maybe they'll come to the door and be like, hey, I said fucking contactless, asshole, just leave it and go, right? So, well, I mean, I don't know. I figured I'd just eat the sandwich and save myself the trouble, right? Yeah. Fucking delicious, right? Free chicken sandwich. You cannot do better. Lars is looking at me quite stunned. I'm enjoying it. You guys get sick of your friends during lockdown? No? I got kind of, you start to analyze and be like, fuck, this sucks, right? Like, shitty friends, right? Like, you ever message both your friends and then they don't answer and then you're like, stick my head in the oven or whatever, right? Like, What am I gonna do now? First one, second, nothing. Okay, fuck it. Like it's frustrating. It's shit. I want friends like a Persian Uber driver. Like they got someone on their Bluetooth all day, just chatting with them, having a good time, laughing, joking, talking about music and whatnot. I want a Persian Uber driver as a friend. That's the end of that thought. I really don't remember anything on this list. I'm reading everything like it's a surprise. I'm like, really? That's good. I don't like dealing with customer service. I do that a handful of times. Customer service, it's gotten too robotic. It's too planned now. I hate it when you call and they can't figure out anything, and then at the end of the call they go, "So, can I help you with anything else?" And you're like, "Well, can you do the thing I called about?" And they're like, "No, still no." I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna start trusting you with my other problems then, right? Figure out the thing I called about, and then we can talk." I don't like unsubscribing from emails because it's weird. It feels weird, you know. You're like, "Hey, unsubscribe," and they go, "Okay, but before you go, was it because we didn't send you enough emails?" And you're like, "No, definitely not." "Oh, was it too many emails?" "Well, a little, but okay, but like we could change." And you're like, "I just don't want." "Well, just tell us what we can do." I'm like, "Fuck it, just keep sending the emails, man. I'll delete them. I'll handle this shit on my side. Don't worry about it." We have a new way of speaking to people now. Like when you send an email, like you can say things like, "How are you?" right? But that can come back loaded. So you don't do that, right? You go, "Hey, hope you're well." And what that really means is, hope you're well enough to not answer this, right? Hope you're well enough to not unload your shit on me because I'm dealing with my own shit. Hope you're well, but if you're not, fuck, man, no one's really doing that good, right? Hope you're well. Otherwise, you'd say how you're doing, right? How you doing? You don't want to know. Just hope. I hope you're well. I don't wish that you're well. I hope things are going okay for you. I'm not going to change my perspective on life either way, but I hope you're well. Well, that seems like a good time, don't you think, Lars? I had a good time yelling into the abyss. You guys have been great out there. Thank you for paying attention. Love you. Take care.
Keep it going for Sammy for Reed, everyone. Sammy. I hope you have a good night. And viewers at home, I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Wow. All right, we got to just keep this show rolling. I'm going to let you know in a little tip here. We had another, what they call in the business, a pop-in, a drop-by, a bonus comedian coming up a little later in the show. But right now, your next guest, she is fantastic. She's prolific, one of the biggest hustlers. When I first moved to Toronto, she gave me stage time, and I believe it was paid as well, which was like blowing my mind that I was getting money instead of chicken wings or a beer. She has produced the Underground Comedy Railroad. She's produced Stand Up in Stitches. She's a regular at Kenny Robinson's Nubian Disciples at Yuck Yucks. And she recently just produced and released her debut album, Ingredients of a Brownie, on Howl and Roar. Come on down here. Give it up for Keisha Brownie.
Oh, what an intro. How many people we got? We got 3 people. Thank you. Very much. Oh, wow. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause for Lars. Thank you for putting this together. Shout out to everyone watching online. You know, this looks great. Oh man, it feels good to be out of the house, right, guys? It's a crazy time, right? I feel like coronavirus has more strains than marijuana, right? Yeah, I'm like, damn, Delta, another one. It's crazy. Like Lars said, though, my name is Keisha Brownie. Brownie is my last name. Not gonna lie, I love it. I've been using it for half of my comedy career. My comedy album that was just released, like you said, it's called Ingredients of a Brownie. Get it? So it's like, let me tell you about myself. And brownie's also a treat. So I really lucked in the whole last name department. That's why I had a lot of time to think during this pandemic. And I thought to myself, you know what? When I get married, I can't change my last name, right? I can't be Keisha McNally. Keisha Dunkirk? What? Don't invite Keisha Dunkirk anywhere. She complains all the time. Keisha Beasley? Who the fuck is Keisha Beasley? Like, she doesn't smoke, drink, or laugh. Fuck that bitch. Yeah. Keisha Woobleslie? Keisha Woobleslie is always trying to get you to sign up to Primerica or Amway or some other pyramid shit, right? Like, this whole thing got me looking at my second cousin like, hey, your last name's Brownie too. That's girl, so how do lesbians decide whose last name rings supreme? That's a valid question. All I'm saying is, like, dear future boyfriend, I love you, okay? You're my guy. I'm your queen. You're my king. I don't even want to break up. I'm flattered by the proposal, but I'm just too self-conscious to be Keisha Chin. You know what I'm saying? I need to lie. What do you mean? You can be my chins alone. I'm too self-conscious for that. Imagine getting pulled over. License and registration, Miss Chin. Like, leave me alone, officer. I emotionally weak, whatever. I'm afraid of Greek men, though. Not because of bum sex. It's just that, Keisha Zona Topola Scotty? What? How many letters is that? Are you kidding me? People be accusing me of fraud. She can't spell her name. Or she spelled her name wrong. Fucking, I don't know how to spell my name. Keisha Zona Topola Scotty. Right? You can't have that on a marquee, right? Keisha Zona Topola Scotty. Performing all week. It's Keisha Zona Topola Scotty. That shit will wrap around the building, right? All the way into an alley. You gotta go in the alley. Batman's parents are getting robbed in the alley. You're just like, hey, I'm just trying to read the comedian's name on the marquee. You know? Can't have Keisha Clark. What's your last name, Clark? Keisha.
Classington.
Classington? Keisha Classington. It almost sounds Jamaican, so maybe. I don't know. Keisha Wabowski. Keisha Wabowski is always getting beat up, and she don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you doing this to me? I brought brownies. The fuck is... Shut up, Keisha Wabowski. You know, she's getting beat up everywhere. Work, church, school. It's like, I don't know why you... I collated the documents like you asked. Why are you hitting me? Fuck you guys. I can't marry you, Greg Wabowski. It's just not gonna, you know, we'd be getting beaten up as a couple. Like, why did you do this to us? I don't... Having a family or kids coming home. Hey, Mom. Hey, how was school today? The kids beat me up again. All right, you want pasta? Dinner? That's crazy. I'll tell jokes now. It's cool, though. I feel like I lucked in during 2020, you know, because I moved out right before everything shut down. Because before I was living with my boyfriend at the time. Let me tell you, you guys, relationships, it's work. No one tells you, right? It's work. And it's actually a ship. They don't tell you relationship, right? You're gonna sink, you're gonna swim. I was fucking drowning. Oh man, I tell you, and it's hard living with someone, right? You have to adjust to them and get used to their little habits and stuff. This guy I was living with at the time, he was a builder, so it was really annoying because every day I'd have to come home to one of his projects, right? Every day I'd have to come home to a tall statue of unwashed dishes in the sink. Tell you, man, it's hard talking to someone with a mixed background. It is. It's really challenging, man. My ex, he was mixed. With crazy and lazy. Yes. Okay, dude. That's crazy, man. But honestly, though, I did look in. You gotta look at the pros, you gotta look at the cons. Like, for example, when I just moved into my new place, like at the time I had no blinds. So I thought to myself, well, at least someone's getting a show. When I come out the shower, I like to air dry in a Captain Morgan stance while watching Netflix. Right? No, just me. You guys, I had the same guy walking his dog multiple times in the day, just peeping in. Like, one time he didn't even have his dog just had a leash. I didn't know what that was about. I'm like, pull up a chair, buddy. I hate when this guy's late for a show. You know, I gotta wait for him to, get a seat before I take off my robe and shit. It's just not the same when there's one person laughing. You know what I'm saying? Peeping Tom, shit. Why do they even call it a peeping Tom? Like, what if his name was Larry? You know what I mean? Whatever. I had to make popcorn and stuff. Because I gotta start making money off this. Service done. Gotta make money. Backyard. No Blinds Backyard Comedy Show. Look out for that album coming out in 2020, whatever. Right? Backyard No Blind Comedy Show. Yeah, I had my people staring at me all the time. I don't know. My neighbor came. Everyone was there at that show. All the people in the neighborhood. My neighbor, he was there. He said, Uncle Tom, because his sister just had a baby. Where you guys calm down, right? The neighborhood cat and mouse pulled up. Tom and Jerry. I was like, that peeping through my window. Meow. Anyway, whatever. I really just want to say that at the end. Oh, guys, that went by really fast when we were laughing. No, it's good though. You learn a lot. During downtime. I learned that it's really important for you to stay on some kind of schedule, right? Successful people, they wake up at 5 a.m., they walk the dog, they write out their goals, whatever, they do shit early in the morning. So I've been really proud of myself because during the whole pandemic, I've been getting up at 6 a.m. Yeah, to turn off the lights so I can get some sleep. Pandemic, who's going to bed on time? What the hell is... Man, I've seen everything on Netflix, just like you guys, right? I didn't realize how much of a Netflix hater I was, though, until that passive-aggressive message came up on the screen. The one, the "Are you still watching?" Right? While you're still fucking watching. That's a rhetorical question. I feel like Netflix, they have a lot of money. You can make that message a little more supportive. Instead of "Are you still watching?" How about, "Why don't you get up and have a shower, you dirty little bitch? It's 5 p.m. It's Netflix. We ain't going anywhere." Man, I would do shit. Right, guys? It's crazy. It's just to the point now where I'm just I feel like one of those newborn babies, just lying around, doing nothing all day. I fucked up that joke. That's okay. It's for the viewers, for you guys. Look at me. I look so good standing up. It's good. Once you sit down, right, she knows. Ding, ding, ding. Where'd all these spare tires come from? You know what? Honestly, the only stressful thing that I can remember during this whole lockdown thing was what jogging pants am I going to wear to the kitchen? Is it going to be casual fleece or thermal chic? Who fucking knows? Hey? Oh my God. God. Fucking 6 feet away. I'll tell you something. The only thing I needed to stay 6 feet away from was the fridge. I age. It's crazy though. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all my stuff. It's always funny. I don't know. 2020 was a year, right? We survived it though, but it was a year. It was definitely a rough one. If 2020 was a person, Karen would be the manager. Am I right? Okay, no? Yeah, there was more to that. Yeah, it's a time, It's a time. Everyone's doing different things. Got to get a lot of hobbies, right? During this lockdown, got to, curate some hobbies. I realized the only hobbies I had was spending money and eating, spending money on eating. It's bad. It's right. It's the time that we're in. Can't lie to you though, guys. It's a weird time because my friend called me the other day and I was just so confused. She's like, "Should you come to my drive-by?" I'm like, whoa, no one orchestrates their own drive-by. And why do you think, why are you putting that pressure on me? You know what I mean? She's talking about her drive-by wedding. I'm like, oh, what, do I put the card in park for open bar? I don't know how these things work. It's crazy, man. I see people around walking their cats on a leash. Oh, gosh, man. Don't do that in Edmonton. People will pick you up. They'll want to ask to pay your pussy. Oh my God, which one? Oh, just let them pebble. Oh man, right? It's crazy. It's cool though. What else can I tell you guys? I went to the cottage. I feel like that's a term that Black people really coined. I was just at the cottage, right? Like Ontario was definitely ours to discover this year. Like everyone is at the cottage, remember? Like I was on a boat. Like I was kayaking. I broke all the black people. We were taking them. Okay, it was great. Now I'm just talking into the mic because this is what I want to do. I want to leave my house all the way in. I don't even want to say just to hear myself talk. This is a good guy. This is cool. Yeah. No, but I've been blessed though because I've been working during this whole time and I've been at this company, this place I've been at for quite some time. It's a good job, you know. Everyone seems to enjoy it. You get a lot of work, but the thing is, you don't get any benefits. You don't even get any time off. You don't even get paid. Basically, all I'm trying to say is I'm tired of being a strong black woman. We need a day off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind being black. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, it's how I look when I'm 85. But I feel like we all need, like, everyone needs, like, a month out of the year to be a different race just to balance out the pressure, right? Like, can I just be, like, a weak white woman for one day? Just, you know, like, whatever. Just even half the day. Just half the day. Give me half the day. You know what I mean? People would care and listen and care, right? You guys, a couple years ago, I fell in the snow and like nobody picked me up, right? People walked around me. This one guy walked over me, right? This one guy was trying to help me, but then it was stopped by some other guy in the street. Just leave her there. She's a strong black woman. Yeah, but she's bleeding. She's got bandages, bro. Don't worry. Leave her there. She's a strong black woman. The thing is, like, in relationships, people don't leave weak people, right? That's always how it is. Think about all your shitty relationships that you stayed in way too long because the motherfucker was weak, right? The problem, this is a newish joke, and I just want to get it out there. If you have fucking tags, the way to end it, just let me know. Yeah, people leave the strong for the weak, right? They always do that. And that's all I have to say about that little observation. It's good though, right? It's the time. Wearing a waist trainer. Oh my gosh, have you seen these things? It's whoa, you could really fool the fellas, right, ladies? Oh my gosh. A waist trainer. This thing will suck you in like 3 sizes smaller, right? You take a girl out on a day, she's looking like a size 5, you take her home at night. Ping, ping, ping. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Precious. Yeah, so I have 11 on right now because that's what quarantine does to you, right? I don't have the luxury of this is me in the flesh. This is where we are. My mom was so cute during this pandemic. She's so worried that, like, I wasn't, like, taking my vitamins and stuff. She's like, make sure you take your vitamin D. I'm like, my vitamin D? So you want me to get back with my ex-boyfriend? Vitamin D is good for depression. It's good for anxiety, and it's good for weight loss. I'm like, first of all, how can you tell I gained weight over the phone? What do you mean, bitch? Because I was breathing like this. My germs in the mic. He's talking about getting shot and shit. But okay, I did get my shot, you know what I'm saying? And I went right away to get my second one. But when I went to get my third, the bartender cut me off. You know what I'm saying? Shots. Oh man, this is so much fun. My confidence is up there, man. This is like nice. I feel like this dog walking around. It's cool, right, buddy? Good. Love it. There's more things to say. How are you doing? You're okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Where are your friends?
I don't.
Oh, okay. I put her on the spot. She's like, I don't. They're on Facebook. It's a weird time though, but it's good that we're all out and supporting comedy. You know what I mean? I didn't even know if I was gonna make it all the way out here. Yeah, no, but I really didn't know because like one of my roommates got really sick, right? And right now I'm living with two like miserable people, my mom and dad, whatever, you know. And my dad was just recently diagnosed with fourth stroke. I know he's immortal, right? He's immortal. He's also really stubborn though. He's when a doctor tried to diagnose him, staff was trying to hear it. Doctor comes in, he's like, sir, we're gonna have to take some blood. My dad turns around, are you named Dracula? Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious. See, the dog was there. Like, no, that's his job. What are you talking about, man? So the doctor comes in, back with the, the results and everything. All my family's waiting in the waiting room. Everyone's serious. Everyone looks like they're about to cry, right? I'm like, yo, ask about the will, whatever, And then finally the doctor looks my dad straight in the face. He's like, sir, I'm so sorry to tell you this. Though you were diagnosed with a fourth stroke. And the true story, guys, my dad looks a doctor right in the face. Doesn't even crack a smile. He's like, me don't get strokes. Me give strokes. I know, it's so weird. I'm like, why do you sound like that? Like, you're white, Dad. No, he's not. He's not. I'm kidding. But I'm kidding. I am kidding. That was my big closer. That was me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to keep rounding up tonight. Woo! Keep it up for God.
Keisha Brownie, everybody. Keisha Brownie. Doc Brownie. If you don't follow her online and follow all the comedians, you can hit them up. Find us at Laughing Vikings. All of them are listed every night. We're going to save the bonus comedian to wrap the show up. Right now, we have our final book comedian of the night. I'm super pumped to have this guy. You've seen him on Comedy Network, CBC, HBO, Great TV, and you can check out his most recent album, The Blackest Panther. Please give it up. He's amazing. I'm so psyched to have him. Arthur Simeon. Arthur Simeon, everybody.
Thank you so much. This is fun. I'm glad to be out of the house. There's 4 things that I really want to talk about. 2 things are going to be about the pandemic last year, and 2 things are going to be about the pandemic this year. 2 of my favorite things, for those who are watching, I don't even know, this will just be going to just Lars's private fucking video collection. I hope there's someone actually like watching this. 2 of my favorite things. Last year, we're all trying to get grips with the way the world is working, and everyone was trying to adjust their lives to figure out how do I fit into this world that is shut down. And I looked at publications, magazines, and like all those businesses. Every business is trying. Obviously, restaurants were hard hit, but every other business, like, okay, you gotta work from home. But publications had to like figure out like how do we fit into this? If we're not like just a plain news organization, how do we fit into this? So like fashion magazines, for example, like listen, this is what you wear on Zoom calls at work. This is how you can look cool in your house. You don't have to. I'm like, no, it's all sweats. All of us are wearing sweats. Give up on this, right? But everyone is trying, and everyone was trying to fit in, or cooking magazines were like this way you should cook at home and learn how to cook with family while you're all at home. And this is the meal that you can have. And then my favorite publication was Blog TO. If you're from Toronto, you understand it's an online publication that we all use to figure out the newest brunch place in the city. Yeah. And they were like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not changing a thing. Okay? We're just going to run through this thing. It doesn't matter. The world has changed. So in July of 2020, everything is shut down. People are just not going anywhere. There's no vaccine, nothing. Blog TO is like 10 Ecuadorian restaurants you need to try out. I'm like, nah, that's not happening, man. No one is caring about your cuisine, but I love the dedication to the craft. The other favorite thing was people who didn't want to quarantine, whether it's travel restrictions or just understanding how contact tracing works. I listened to a guy complain that how can I quarantine? I don't want to quarantine. I'm an accountant. I gotta be out there. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay? Like, when you're an accountant, you are quarantining for life. You understand? Like the moment no one hangs out with accountants. You understand? Like the only reason you get into accounting is so you never have to hang out with people ever again. Like if you introduce yourself, like, hey, I'm an accountant, but like, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for letting me know at the beginning of this conversation. They never want to talk to you again. There's nothing. No one hangs out with accountants. You know how I know this? Because even rich people don't hang out with accountants. Those are the people who keep them rich. Do you understand that? You see any movie, there's a billionaire where they always hanging out on a golf course. Who are they hanging out with? They're a lawyer. A lawyers are fun. They lie for a living. They're cool to hang out with. And then the assistant will be like, excuse me, rich person, your accountant is on the phone. I'll be like, no, tell him I'm not around. Tell him I'm not around. Tell him I'm in Ibiza. Accountants are the worst human beings on the planet. And we need them. We need them. Don't get me wrong. We'll have to do our taxes. But we don't want to hang out with them. Like most people are just kind of like, you show me your accountants, like dreading. It's a 15-minute conversation, but you're dreading it already. And again, some of you might be accountants out there being like, this is unfair, and it's not. And I know this because this is how I know that accountants, no one wants to hang out with them. Most people. Anytime comedians are looking for an occupation to make fun of, to go with accountants. Like, it's kind of like unfair. It's like true, but here's the thing. I know another industry that tells you everything you need to know about how we think about accountants, okay? Because I have never seen a porn parody that involves accountants. Do you understand that? That's how fucked up it is. Like, they've done everything else. Fucking flight attendants, doctors, nurses, pizza delivery people, plumbers, electricians. They've done everything except accountants. You've never seen a porn star being like, oh my goodness, are you the accountant? That dries up everything. So those are two of my favorite things of the pandemic last year. Two of my favorite things of the pandemic this year are the way we consume news has to change, and the way like everything's moving so fast that we don't really care. A town in BC just burned down at the end of June, like just a fire just burned the small town. So the heat wave, they received record temperatures, like 42 degrees, I think it was a 47 degrees, some crazy temperature. And then a wildfire took over and burned the whole place down 15 minutes. And they put it in the news, everyone went, oh man, that's really sad, and moved on. You know how fucked up that is? So we saw people's lives change, like just people going like, you think after the pandemic would have been more like, no, let's try and do something about this. But I guess it's too late, the environment is already fucked, we're all gonna die soon. But it was weird because people were just kind of like, yeah, I have my own problems. I'm like, not the same thing. Like imagine waking up in the morning with a home and then that night, all you have is a clothes on your back and no one saying anything. But we've also learned through the pandemic that people are refusing to get like vaccines. People are like, I don't want to get the vaccine. The government is trying to control us. And I'm like, you should really think about that a little bit more. Because the government has been controlling you for a long time. Do you have a name? That's a government mandated thing. There's no reason we should have names. We should just be walking around the fucking world. Just people just point and be like, you, let's fuck. Like, I don't know what, don't use name. But there's a government mandate that we have to get a name. And so people have kids and they have to name them, okay? Like, you know how weird it is to go to someone's house and they have a 2-year-old and you go, hey, what's their name? It's like, we don't have a name yet. Like, that's 2 years old. That would be fucked up. You call the police on that. That's a government mandated thing. Birth certificates, passports, social security numbers. Those are all government. The government already controls it. Here's the thing. If the government wanted to control people, they would do it through a vaccine. They would do it through Shoppers Drug My Points. That's how they would do it. Because everyone fucking has those. But I love the conversations around vaccine hesitancy because, like, some of them are legit. People are like, what are the health implications of me getting a vaccine? And that's a very important question to ask your doctor, your healthcare doctor. It's just people who are doing research on YouTube that I find hilarious. But I have a friend of mine and someone I respected up until this year who said to me, I'm not going to get the vaccine. It was made too fast. I was like, excuse me? Like, they made it too fast. I'm like, based on what experience? Like, did you make a vaccine in your life for you to know the timeline it takes? Because here's the thing, if you came up to me, any of you came up to me, just give me an answer, the two of you. If you told me it takes 3 weeks to make a vaccine and you told me it takes 3 months to make a vaccine, I'll believe both of you. You know why? Because I have no fucking experience making a vaccine. I'll be like, yeah, I guess both of you are correct. I know one of you is lying, but I don't know which one. Because I've never made anything beyond a fucking pancake in the kitchen. Do you understand that? And my friend's like, yeah, you made it way too fast. I'm like, do you realize you're also the person who called me to tell me you rewatched Game of Thrones and The Sopranos from beginning to end? You don't think someone else was using their time and brain power to do something for the world? You barely finished high school, you don't get a say. Just go to the fucking place and get a vaccine, okay? Like, if you couldn't finish high school essays, you're not allowed to say, go stupid science. But then we also went through a whole summer, and now we're reckoning racism. And I got to tell you, I feel for white people. Like I genuinely having a rough time. Every time you think you have a break, whiteness waits. Whiteness waits, and you just back to fucking through. Like last summer, everyone was like, George Floyd died in America, was murdered by a police officer. The world came up with anti-black racism. Well, like, I gotta do better. White people came out and were like, I want to be an ally. I want to do better. I want to do better. And then you forgot about it. You're like, I'll support business for 2 weeks and I'll move on. And you were like, oh, this was cool. And in Canada, you were trying to get away with it. And then, boom, they start digging up thousands of children, indigenous children, in unmarked graves. And white people are like, are we back to this now? Fuck. Like, again, okay, let's put some posts up on Instagram. I'm an ally. I'm going to do better. And then, while in the middle of all of that, angry white guy just fucking plows through a family that was just having a civil war. It's just so much hate, so much hate. And here's the thing about racism, and especially when it comes to white people, like, it's come to a point where every white person has to come to a reckoning and understand, like, hey, listen, I got to do better, and I get that part. But I also understand that history has afforded you a place in life where you can't help yourself, but feel like your space is being occupied by someone that you made. And that's unfortunate, but that's what it is. And I know this because I live in a condo building. 3 weeks ago, a girl posted in the condo, there's a Facebook group. She was like, I'm sitting on my balcony, and one of my neighbors is smoking weed. And I can smell the weed from my balcony. Therefore, I think the entire condo board should get together and ban smoking on balconies. It's making my balcony experience uncomfortable. And I looked at that message, and this was sent out in public. It wasn't like a private message. It was sent out to all of us. And I was like, this is insane. You can't own outside there. Do you understand that? Like, the reason they create balconies in places is so people don't have to go downstairs to get to the outside. They get balconies like this, so you can be like, you know what? I don't have to go downstairs to go find a patio. I can sit right here and enjoy the open air. It just happens to be attached to a building, but it's still open air. Do you know how crazy it is to sit outside and go, nah, I should own more than this. I should own more. There should be rules. And I feel bad. I feel bad because white guilt is at an all-time high, and some of you are working through it. Some of you are doing great work, trying to really help those who are marginalized. And some people just don't get it, but it's there, and they have to do something about it. So I read about a woman in Oshawa, the first wave of indigenous children, 215 of them. And this woman was like, I got to do something. So she took her kids and drew 215 hopscotch squares on the street as a dedication to dead children. I was like, that does nothing. That absolutely, you're saying your children are going to have fun. This neighborhood of kids are going to have fun to celebrate a bunch of kids that were murdered. That is insane. But it's like, I'm doing something. It's better than spending any money or time educating my kids to be better human beings, which is tough. And again, I feel, because I don't know where to start. I don't know where, as a white person, you can start. You feel like, do I start with my own children? Or do I start with my neighbors? Because that's the thing. And I feel like the solution should be simple. Treat racists in your circles the way you treat pedophiles. The only solution. We look at it that way. Because here's the thing. So many of my friends would say things like, that's just my uncle, you know? That's just the way he was. That's just how he was raised, you know? I'm like, cool, but you wouldn't say that if he was touching kids. You wouldn't just be like, yeah, that's just my uncle. Yeah. He likes 8-year-olds. He likes to grab them and like grab their genitals and stuff. But it's just the year that he was born. That's how they did things back then. Because then the conversation would end. You would never have situations where people would be like, yeah, my mom's a little racist. It's something I've heard people say. I'm like, you can't can't be like that. You can't be like, my mom's a tiny pedophile. Like, that's a little bit. I feel like that is the solution to the problem. Anyways, you guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Good night.
Arthur Simeon, everyone. Arthur Simeon, yes. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you so much. It is bonus comedian time. Paid for tickets, or you didn't pay if you were live streaming, but we're going to under-deliver, over-promise. The fifth comedian, aka the bonus comedian. This guy's done JFL 42, JFL Northwest, the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland. Make some noise for Andrew Packer. Andrew Packer, everybody.
Yeah. Nice. Hello. This is great. I love it. We're on a beautiful patio. We have fancy lights that every patio has decided to get this year. I've yet to be on a patio that doesn't have these lights. Not the bulb ones. Every patio, so that every girl that walks by will be like, oh, that's cute. They're literally everywhere. Even my fiance, we bought some. We went to Costco, we got some for our backyard. Look at the backyard now, it's so cute. Dude, with a cute ass backyard, man. It's nice. I've had an interesting pandemic, man. Mine's a little bit different. At the top of the pandemic, right before it started, I was touring through Southeast Asia, and I was in Vietnam like a month before the pandemic, like January, and I was at this theme park, and it was just completely empty. There was nobody in the whole theme park, and my fiance and I were like, wow, what are the odds? How lucky are we? We're in Vietnam. No one in this whole, imagine in Canada's Wonderland, and you get on the ride, and the dude's like, you want to go again? Like, you come back in, he's like, it's just you. It's a full-on roller coaster, and it's like, just you. And I was like, all right, yo, this is great. How lucky. Meanwhile, it's usually just full of Chinese tourists, and none of them were there. Okay, in retrospect, makes a lot more sense. So we were traveling through Southeast Asia, and then in the Philippines on a tiny island called Siargao, I got stuck, and the whole world shut down. And the whole Philippines was like, we're closing it down. And then the island put up signs everywhere and was like, all tourists must leave. And then we're like, okay, cool, let's try and get a flight. And the airplanes, the flight, wow, I'm just like, that's how long it's been since I've been on a flight. You know the airplane flight people? You know the flight people that do the airplanes? The airlines were like, there are no flights. And we were like, so we were just stuck on this island for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild to just be in a foreign country on the other side of the planet for 6 months while the whole world goes indefinitely downward. Just everything's going to shit. I'm just looking at a crisp skyline off a beach of the ocean, and I'm like, wow, man, did I die? I feel like I died. This is a dream that's just been prolonged. It's crazy. It was kind of scary at first, right? Because you're in the Philippines, and there's police running around, and they're scared, and all the police in the Philippines, they wear military uniforms. They don't just wear cop uniforms. It's full on they're carrying AK-47s and magazines around their belt, just ammo right there. And these are the same guys that are pulling you over for traffic stops. And I wasn't wearing my helmet, and I got pulled over by one of these guys. And just instantly, I was just like, I'm so sorry, sir. You are tall. You're a big man. I am sorry. We are both sorry. Let's not look close, sir. We said it in the language. So sorry. Did we say we're sorry? Because we're sorry. And the thing with the Filipino police is that sometimes if you say sorry enough, they will just let you go. Because they've got a lot of ego surrounding their job. They're very proud of their job. So if you stroke that ego, then they'll just be like, all right, well, next time, man. And you're like, oh, yeah, we're sorry. You're important. You let us go. We just drove off. It was amazing. We were so happy. It worked out for us. It just fits with Canadian culture to just go that route in that situation. But did not work so well for my French friends. Because French people do not know how to say sorry to the police. It's just not in their vernacular. They're from the evolution. Like they don't respect authority. Literally, the police would be pulling them over, and they'd be like, "I don't fucking care. You don't control me." I was like, "We're on a tiny remote island, and they're the police. They could kill you, and that'd be it." The balls on these French people. So literally, every single night on this island, there was one prison cell, and it would just be full of French people. Just a whole bunch of Frere Jacques, just all just stuck in there. Just not one of them sleeping. Just pissed off, man. It's wild. It's crazy. One thing I noticed, like a stark difference about this island in the Philippines compared to like life here is the kids there. Because kids here, like when I was growing up as a child here, my parents would always say like, "Don't you ever talk to strangers. Whatever you do, don't talk to strangers." But like every single kid I met on that island, you'd be driving by, they'd be like, "Hello, hello." It's totally different. They'd be running out. "What is your name?" Just like asking you things. Like, it was just like the cutest thing. It was like nice because I was like, "Oh, cool. Like that's just okay here." Like you say hi to a kid that you don't know here, it's like your parents are like, "Oh, like you're a freak," you know. You say hi to a kid there, the parents are like, "Go practice your English. You see the white man? You try out a few things on him. Come on. It's an opportunity." Just right there for it. So my pandemic hobbies were climbing coconut trees to get coconuts. That was really dope. It's cool. It's exhilarating. The amount of times I would be in the top of a coconut tree and I'd just overhear the conversation of like, "Is that a white guy in a coconut tree?" No, there's no way it's a white guy up in a coconut tree. The whole thing be swinging around. There's no way. Wait, no, that is a white guy in a coconut tree. Yeah. Climbing trees when you're older is like even better than climbing trees when you're a kid. Because when you're a kid, you have no like grasp on what's at stake. But when you're an adult, you know. Like the higher you get, you can quantify. It's more exhilarating because you get higher and higher in the tree, and you're like, okay, so broken arm from here for sure, probably. Yeah. All right. Paralyzed. All right, this is going to be a lot of conversations if I fall from here. A lot of explaining. Okay, and death from here on out. All right, I feel alive. It's a good experience, man. I recommend it. I still do it here. People look at me weird in the park, but I'm like, what? This is my hobby, man. What do you want me to do? You shut down the fucking basketball nets? Okay, I'm climbing the trees. Put a bag on the trees, dog. Good luck with that. No. Yeah, tree climbing, that's fun. Fuck yeah. What else is going on? Yeah, here. Staying here. I'm staying with my fiance's parents now. We've come back. I live with my fiance's parents. It's just us. My fiance lives somewhere else. We went over for dinner one time. I was like, I think I'll stay. So much room. A lot of space. It's a good time. Living in a neighborhood with like families and shit. It's funny. It's nice to go. Like we would just go on walks. That was like also a common thing. You're just walking to walk. I'm just gonna walk. Going anywhere? No, just walking. I used to go from point A to point B, but now I just go from point A back to point A. Just an A to A walk. That's what I do. The family would ask me, "You want to go again? We're gonna go. We're gonna go walk." I'm like, "What are we gonna do?" Like, "Oh, we're just gonna go judge the other homes in the neighborhood." What we're gonna do? Just look at them and be like, "A wooden roof here? That's a lot of maintenance." I don't think so. Purple lights in that upper room. There must be a teenager living there. That's the activities, man. Yeah. I think some people got like into like a health craze too. As like a lot of people got like really fit. That's a good thing. My one buddy is doing this thing that like sounds like almost like a cult though. Like it seems like he's giving up too much information into this company. He told me about this company. It's called Viome. Basically, they get you to deliver a poop sample. You ship it to New Mexico, which kind of pisses me off that this year like your shit is traveling more than you do. You know? Like, oh sure, my poop gets an international flight. Come on. But that's too much information to give because a bunch of people are pissed off at like companies like those like ancestry companies because they're like selling all the data that you give them. Like you pay them and then they sell off your shit. And so like now this poop company has your DNA. And now, you know, you could just sell your DNA. All of a sudden they just start, you know, sprinkling your poop on some dead bodies. Now you're wanted as a serial killer all because you sent your poop trying to find out what vegetables to eat. Yeah. So it's a scary world. I feel bad. I feel scared for it. Fucking yes, this poop bit, it's a reacher. We're reaching for it. We're definitely stretching on the poop bit. That's good. These restaurants opened up, man, and I gotta be careful because I got severe food allergies. Don't watch out, man. I fucking dance with death from time to time. Every day I'm living on the edge. Who knows? Every meal I sit down at, I'm like, this could be the one. Living on the edge. I really wish it made me cool, like to have severe food allergies. It doesn't. It's not like the right type of danger, you know. It's not like I ride a motorcycle. That's the sexy kind of danger, you know. I'm not like a hunter with a bow and arrow. Like, oh, it's sexy, dangerous, man. It's like you'll never see like a girl in a coffee shop watching me order a pastry and be like, oh my god, he didn't even check the ingredients. Start going in on it. Oh my god, I want him to choke me like that. I'm gonna work out like that, you know. But I had a situation like 2 weeks ago when the restaurants just opened back up. It was my fiance's birthday, and we were in a small town, and I went to a really nice restaurant for her birthday, and right off the top of the meal, I went to the waitress, I was like, hey, I have severe food allergies. I don't want to fuck this meal up. Essentially what I said. And then she went, yeah, like, I will, oh yes, okay, yes, I'll double check. And then I ordered the lamb, and the lamb came, and she did not double check. Because my lips just start swelling up, and my, like, gums, they start, like, pulsing. I'm like, I think there's something in the lamb. I don't know. And then she goes to the kitchen. She comes back. She's like, yeah, there are walnuts in the lamb.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to go to the hospital. That was a small town, right? So I ordered a cab to the hospital. I call it dispatch, you know, like it's 1980. Call there, and like this lady named Val, is that what I assume? You know, she answers the phone. Hey, where are you going? Like, I need to go to the nearest emergency room. She's like, oh, really? Okay, well, I'll tell Gord to step on it. So Gord's ripping his way over, and then we're trying to get the bill to get out of there. And then the manager comes over to the table. He's like, okay, so I took the lamb off the bill. Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking the poison off the meal. Thank you. Like, you have one job as a restaurant. Do not poison the patrons. That is rule number 1. This guy's like, we took it off the bill. We won't charge you for that. Like, I bet if this guy hit me with his car, he'd be like, okay, I won't charge you to fix my bumper. I won't charge you for this. This is on me. I need you to pay for it. It's like, really, dude? Anyways, Gord shows up. I hop into the van, right? It's a Dodge Caravan. I'm going to say 2006. There's a small town cab right there. It like stalled out on the way up. I was like, all right, hopefully we get to this thing. Gord looks at me. He's like, where are you going? I'm like, the hospital. He's like, that's what I thought. I need to know how you're feeling. Because I need to know if I need to do a $1.50. I was like, let's get there safely. He's like, all right, well, I'll push it. He gets us there. I was trying to save the night, like the whole way, you know. That's the nice thing about having severe food allergies. Like, if you get to the hospital, most people gotta wait a long time at a hospital. But when you have anaphylactic shock, you show up at the hospital and it's like, VIP. They look at you and they're like, let's get them in. You know, everyone else like broken leg. They're like, buddy, you're gonna have to wait 4 to 6 hours, okay? Because Peanuts is coming through. Let's get this guy taken care of. You can talk. I get to go in there like, yes, I'm so good. I get in and I'm talking to the doctor and I'm having these like the reaction of I'm trying to like tough through it. I'm just like, yeah, man, it's gonna go away like 2 hours max. Just hook me up some Benadryl, man. Let's fucking do this, all right? Just hook me up. We'll be good. an hour, and then I'll be out. My fiance's in the parking lot. She's not allowed in because COVID, right? So she's just in a parking lot on her birthday. You poor thing, right? So I'm just trying to tough through this thing. I'm like, yeah, I'll be out of here. The doctor's like, okay, well, we'll get you the Benadryl, half an hour, and let's see if you can go, okay? Half an hour goes by. I'm like trying to put my hat on. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't leave, but if you want to, you can. But if you don't feel like it, don't. And I was like, okay. Put my cap on, I put my jacket on, and then I was about to leave, and I had this bucket directly next to me, and I just had aggressive, cartoonish level nausea. I grabbed the bucket, and I'm pretty sure both my feet were in the air while this was rocketing out of me. And even after the doctor came in, after I descended back from the air, he was just he looks in, and I'm like, oh, is this just part of the process? He's like, nah, we're gonna need you to stay. I was like, okay, all right. So 4 hours later, got out of there. It's good. I'm alive. I toil with death one more time. Look at the world in a new way. It's nice. Modern day medicine, man, keeping me alive. Healthcare. It's good. It's nice. Sweet. I love this. I love that I had a space to try that story out that happened to me 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's an epic story.
Thank you. Yeah, it's it's weird shit. It's good. It's good. What's going on here? Where are we at? Oh shit, that's my time. Well, thank you guys so much. This was so great. Thank you everyone at home. This was a great time. Cheers.
One more time, keep going for Andrew Packer. Yeah. You also saw Jen Sicato, Sammy Fareed, Arthur Simeon, and Keisha Brownie. We do it every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 9 p.m. Hit us up on Instagram at Lobby Vikings. And for those viewers at home who want a discount, we're going to give you 50% off. Join us in person. Use the promo code FRIEND. We'll see you tomorrow night. Comedy Alley. Good night, everybody.
One of these days, and you're wondering long. You're gonna look for me, and I'll be gone.
Thanks again for the spotlight. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Thank you. Thanks for popping in. Okay, back. Yeah. Every night is different. Tonight was no audience wise. Busy as so.
Oh yeah. We were just saying it's a nice night. Very intimate.
Yeah, it's great. Like, what I want to do.
Yeah.
Tonight was the first night that we
I think I'm gonna have to use my love. One of these days, I won't be gone. You're gonna look at me, and I'll be gone. One of these days, I won't be gone. You're gonna look at me, and I'll be gone. While you were sleeping, I heard you say, oh, Ronnie, you know my name. You know my name. When you know my name.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. It's like 5 comedians, 4 comedians. That's always go on the show. Go and
While walking down the street, while walking down the she bit my hand.
Yeah,
But she is real dumb. She's real dumb. She's real dumb. She's real dumb. She's real dumb, girl. I want to get out.
Yeah, if I can see the plan.
looks like it's huge.
It just has like a nice hue to it.
Sometimes
It's not too, yeah, it's not quite too loud.
Like the spot too, like
from which side she comes back. Mom back when I unpack. But she is real gone.
yeah, that was great. So thank you.
She's real gone. She's real gone. She's real gone. Girl, I love it. But she is real gone. She's real gone. She's real gone, gone, gone. She's real gone. She's real gone. Girl, I love you. Baby, baby, it looks like it's gonna hail. Baby, baby, it looks like it's gonna hail. You better come inside, let me teach you how to drive and wheel. Oh,